Sarah, I really want to, and I'm really excited to have you here on the Beat Your Anxiety interview series. Obviously, you're a wealth of information when it comes to helping people, really get in touch with their bodies and process emotions and be able to heal from the inside. Sarah, so can you tell this audience who you are, what you do, and what motivates you to do the work that you do?
Sure. First, thank you for having me on. This is going to be a lot of fun. I am kind of a GP in the energy medicine world, kind of a general practitioner. I ended up in the Reiki community kind of by accident. My origin story is basically I was living my life, doing what you do, working in corporate America. Had a young child, and my husband died in an accident. Just 1 minute he was there and the next he was gone. And I was devastated with the grief. I mean, it was horrible. And unfortunately in America, we're not really taught how to process grief or that it's okay to even grieve. So I was lost in the process and I wasn't doing well. I wasn't doing well at all. A friend of mine suggested I take Reiki classes to help me with the grief. And I had no idea what it was. I wasn't a stranger to energy because I've always been able to kind of feel energy, but I didn't have all the pieces to understand what I was feeling or what was actually going on. Yeah. So taking the Reiki class, I went way out of my comfort zone. I went to the San Antonio College, which was an hour and a half each way to get there. And it blew my mind. I just couldn't believe it. I never thought that it would become a career, but that was 18 years ago. And since then, that's what I've been doing. And it has been phenomenal. Some of the miracles that I have witnessed with Reiki and working with other modalities with Reiki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just got chills when you said that because, I have a good friend of mine and she does Reiki too. And I've had Reiki done on me. Mm-hmm. And you're absolutely right. It's just mind blowing what you can work through and how quickly when you just get right to the point, like right to where that energy is in the body. And can you tell this audience, I think a lot of people here are kind of new to the holistic healing world. Like, sure. What's different about Reiki? Like, what does Reiki look like compared to like meditation or acupuncture or even hypnosis? Like, what makes Reiki different, and what does it look like?
That's a really good question. And it's kind of hard to describe energy work in general. I think that when we think about things like this, we kind of think, whoa, that's way out there. Energy work is way fringe stuff. Woo-woo, but it's not. But yeah, it's woo-woo. but it's not, because it is actually in every indigenous culture, there is some form of energy work. It's something that has always taken place. It's something that's always worked. Reiki, as we do it now, originated in 1920. There are currently over 1 million people worldwide practicing Reiki. So it's not a fad. It didn't just happen in the 80s or anything like that. Wow. I have a book, Energy Medicine for Beginners, if you want to know more about energy in general. But energy medicine is kind of elusive when we start talking about it because it's a subtle energy. All of the energy work is generally considered holistic, and it all works together with modern or Western medicine. If you go see a Reiki master, they're not going to say, stop your meds. They're not going to do that. They're not going to diagnose you. They're going to work with you so you have more tools. It's been amazing to watch people post-op or people that are going through chemo get that break that they need, where they can relax, where they can be pain-free, where they can start the healing process. So with energy work, we address the whole person. We address everything from your environment, your stress level, what you're eating, your genetics, all of it, because the energy is much smarter than we are. And it knows how to get the body back in balance. And it's really difficult to talk about because it is such a different process than maybe what people are used to, but it works well with acupuncture. It works good, of course, with hypnosis. It works with meditation, and it works with Western medicine. So it is considered to be complementary.
Sarah, I love that you brought up the subject of, us not taking the time to actually go back and process our emotions. Like you said, like we kind of rush through our days. Like we got to go pick up the kids. We got to hurry up and shovel breakfast down. We got to get to work. We got to do this, got to do that. And, I've even noticed to myself is like what I choose to do sometimes is like, let me shove these emotions down. Right. And then it starts to come up as like anxiety later, or tension later, or like my heart's racing later. And can you talk to us about like, why is it important to actually take the time to process emotions? Because I think a lot of people here, I can already hear a lot of arguments like, I don't have time for that. Or like, I'm too busy to process emotions, but like, what are the consequences of not paying attention to the body?
Right. And I know firsthand, because like I say, I didn't have time for the grief. I had a small child, I had a business, I was working corporate America. I wanted it on my timetable. And of course, it doesn't work that way. If we push this, any kind of grief, trauma, resentment, anger, fear, whatever it is, if we push it down, it doesn't go away. We carry it and it festers and it grows. And then it comes out in maybe resentment or rage or depression. And maybe then we start self-medicating, and it could be too much shopping. It could be too much drinking. It could be maybe unhealthy relationships, and all of these other things just snowball and they take over our life. So it's really important that we woman up or man up and address these issues. And the thing is, we've already lived through them. That's the thing. We've already lived through these horrible things. So in addressing them, all we're doing is we're removing the energy and the emotion from these traumatic events or things that have happened to us, and we're freeing it. So then we can get back in balance. With energy medicine, it's all about balance. It's give and take. It's addressing the cause. And energy medicine, I want to say too, is not a magic bullet. You can't just get one Reiki session and you're going to be cured. Yeah. It'll keep taking your meds, and it works with other things. Now, do miracles happen? Of course they do, but we have to be committed. We have to want to change. We have to want to get better. The Reiki will help you have the energy then to get back in balance. So unfortunately, like say, we're stressed at work. Okay, we're working too much and we just feel blah. And then before we know it, we're neglecting our health. We're not eating right. We're not doing self-care. We're getting more stressed. We're yelling at the kids. We're doing all these things, and it's all just crunching down on us. With a Reiki session, you're going to be relaxed. You're going to get back in balance, and you're going to feel better. And then you're going to make better decisions. Maybe you're going to then talk to your boss about cutting overtime, or maybe working a new schedule, or you can have the weekends off, things like that. And because then when we're in balance, we do make better decisions, and we do stand up for ourselves. We do speak our truth. And then we feel good enough that we can actually follow through on them. So yeah, that's how I approach Reiki anyway. It is phenomenal in all the things that you can do with it, and in all the ways it works. And like I say, it's a very smart, subtle energy. So most people that come to me with an issue may not know the actual root cause. And I think that's all of us. We don't really know the root cause. We're having migraines. And so it could be anything. It could be diet, it could be stress, it could be a complication with medication, it could be, the sky is kind of the limit. So the Reiki would go to the root of the matter, which let's say it's stress. And so then you're feeling more relaxed, the migraines lit up, and then you start maybe making, like I say, better decisions, talking to your boss and saying, I'm not going to work on the weekends, for instance. So that's how we look at the big picture and treat the whole person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember I specifically went to, I did a Reiki session for back pain. Back pain
Mhm.
was the result. Oftentimes we think, oh, the pain is the problem, but for me, it
Right.
was the symptom, right? Of
Mhm.
like being really stiff and rigid in the way I move and in the way I make decisions. I was really stiff and rigid. And of course, my body didn't move. It didn't really flow. And it was incredible. I remember just lying down on this table, and all of a sudden, like I felt like this, it was like my spine lit up, like it was fire.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I just remember like something bubbling up, and I started crying. And I honestly, I don't even really know what
Right.
it was.
Right.
And that's what I love about this work, whether it's Reiki or hypnosis, but this inner healing work where we work with the energy, where we
Mhm.
work with the emotions. We don't have to go back in time and ask why and how
Right.
did I get here and what's the cause of this. Like that's more like therapy.
Right.
And we can spend, a lot of us, I know a large part of this audience, I'm sure, has spent years in therapy, but
Mhm.
here we get to graduate to solving actually what's going on in real time.
Right, right. And like most things, there's many different ways you can approach it. And for some people, therapy is definitely the right way to go. But we work with people in therapy as well. I mean, it's just like with hypnosis and meditation, it all works together to be your net, to be your safety, to help your body get back in balance and help you be the best you can be.
Mhm.
And so who wouldn't want that? I mean, there is one side effect with Reiki. Did you know?
I have no idea.
It's happiness.
I had a feeling you might say that. Yeah, I can remember, when I remember when I eliminated that pain from my back, I never had to deal with it again. Of course, I still went to my chiropractor. I was still doing the structural alignment work, but the pain from the rigidity, or I should say the rigidity that caused the pain, it was just like that particular pain never came back. And
Right.
so, like, I think, what do they say? Like, if the pain shifts, or it moves, or it changes into something else, then that's progress. And
Exactly.
so,
Mhm.
as a hypnotist, I understand energy, but for those who are watching,
Mhm.
I remember when I first was learning about this, and I was like, what the heck? Are you talking about energy like that's coming from light bulbs, or like energy like you see in the movies? Like how can we get in touch with our own energy, and also the energy coming from other sources?
That's a good question. And it is kind of hard to put into words. Everything is made of energy,
Mhm.
period. Everything is energetic. So when we, being of energy too, interact with different things, we're interacting with that energy. And sometimes well, for instance, have you ever been somewhere where you walked into a new place and you just felt like, this is wonderful. I feel so great here. I feel so relaxed. You're then engaging in the energy of the place. There are certain places we go that make us feel good. There's certain places, not so good. Same thing with people. Sometimes we are maybe with family members and they're going through things and it affects us. It
Mhm.
affects our mood, it affects our metabolism, it affects our hormones, and therefore it affects our energy. So while energy is kind of an odd concept to wrap your mind around because it is everything, but it is not something we can hold in our hand or physically touch. With Reiki, we draw in universal life force energy. For some people, that's God. For some people, that's just space. For some people, it's just energy. So we pull it in and then we basically shoot it out. It comes through us and goes out. We're not doing it. We're not being God. We're not the person that's doing the actual healing. We're just the person that's facilitating it.
Mhm.
So what we do then is we send energy to your energy system. For some people, they may recognize the word chakras, or they may recognize hara through meditation or through yoga. So the energy system is very complex, very smart, much smarter than we are. But as we are in those relationships, or we're in stressful situations, or maybe we're binge eating or drinking too much or whatever, or maybe on chemo, they go out of alignment, which of course they would. It makes sense that they would. So the Reiki goes through and then realigns them. and helps them help themselves, in other words. And then they go back in balance. And then we're not as tired, we're not as angry, we're not as resentful, we're not as depressed as we were before, because the energy has balanced itself. So that kind of help?
Yeah. I noticed in one of your videos on your YouTube channel, you specifically focused on resentment.
Mm-hmm.
And I know as a large part of this demographic are like self-proclaimed people pleasers. And they're like, hey, I need everyone else's approval. I need someone to give me that pat on the back to feel good about myself. I struggle to say no. And I ended up saying yes to people because I fear losing the connection. What, like, can you talk about more about like where this like may originate? And then like, what would you do with someone who maybe struggles to like say no?
Okay, sure. And I can raise my hand for that too. I've struggled with that as well. Chakra wise, it would be probably the throat chakra, but it would also be the lower 3 chakras as well. We end up getting out of balance and getting into ruts where, it's hard for us to say no because we don't feel worthy. And then we end up resenting ourselves and resenting the other people for loading more stuff on our plate. So of course we need to set boundaries. To do that, we have to be in our power. And by that, I mean, we have to recognize that we deserve to be happy. We deserve to have our needs met as well. So it is a complex process, but with the Reiki, we send energy to the body and we work on the lower 3, which are your fundamental stability and your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-confidence. And we also work on the throat, which allows us to speak our truth. Unfortunately, almost every woman I've ever treated has a blocked throat chakra. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It's not just in America. It's in Europe. It's in Asia. It's just a given. And actually, they're blocked in most men too. Because society, the world in general, we don't feel like we should be speaking up or we should be asking for what we need. We should just have it come to us miraculously.
Yeah.
When we get back in balance, we can understand that, yes, we're allowed to say no. We're allowed to ask for what we need. We're allowed to practice self-care. So it is a process of getting the chakras back into actual healthy condition. Because like anything, if we're not using it, it's probably not very healthy. It needs to be exercised. Mm-hmm. So meditation helps with that. Hypnosis helps with that. Reiki helps with that. Journaling helps with that. I mean, there's a lot of different approaches you can take. Energy medicine is not a cookie cutter, one size fits all, which is really wonderful because there are some people that will immediately resonate with Reiki immediately, and it will just be a game changer. Well, while there's others that meditation, yoga, sound therapy will work with. So we will experiment with what the client needs and what they're drawn to. And if it's not helping, we tweak it a little bit more. Things like chanting, things like practicing affirmations can help so much because I do a lot of affirmations on the channel, on the YouTube channel as well, on the Serenity one, Serenity Reiki Clinic. And people tell me all the time, I had no idea until I started saying these affirmations that I was having problems speaking up for myself or saying what I needed to say. So once we start exercising this muscle, then things become easier. Mm-hmm. And the energy shifts.
Yeah. And so for this audience, maybe who need like a little bit more of a visual about like what it looks like, mm-hmm. Hypnosis, being a hypnotist, we alter states of consciousness using language. So for us, it may just look like a conversation, but for Reiki practitioners, it's more of like you're moving energy with your hands, right? With your body, with how you're showing up. Is that correct?
Right. And we can do it long distance or we can do it in person. Can you feel my hands?
Yes, I totally could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we are the vessel that the energy comes through, and it is being manipulated by spirit, universe, consciousness. It's not us actually going, oh, I'm going to fix this. We don't do that.
Right. The magical wave your fingers. Yeah,
exactly. And if it was on TV, there would be lightning and there would be, levitation, but it's not on TV. So it's a very subtle thing. It's something that you could have at lunch and go back to work. I mean, it's not going to be anything that's going to really, oh my gosh, I have to recover 2 weeks from this now.
Yeah.
Most people come to the Reiki table and ask what's going to happen. And it's never clear. There are people that come that laugh. Oh my God. They laugh.
I've done that.
An hour. And they're just elevated and happy. There's others that come that don't really think anything's wrong. They're just coming for a tune-up. We recommend that once a month, everybody just get a tune-up, and then we nip things in the bud, just like you would with your car, before things get worse. But they may cry. They may cry the entire session. They may sleep. Who knows? Because the body is smarter than we are, and it is taking the energy and putting it where it needs to go.
Yeah. It's so powerful. I love this work. Last year, I wanted to go into Reiki and become a practitioner myself. Obviously that fell to the wayside with more hypnosis training, but, who specifically might seek Reiki? Like, what kind of struggles do people have? Like, what kind of things do you typically see that come in your door? Like, I know you work a lot with anxiety, and I know a lot of this audience really struggles with social interaction, and that anxiety comes up with public speaking or speaking in a meeting or in front of a group of people. What other types of things that do you commonly see that Reiki is really going to be powerful for?
Well, we do basically two different camps. There's the physical things, from, like I say, chemo and cancer, migraines, pain management. It works great for pain management, high blood pressure. And there's been tons of studies. You can go online, Google Reiki medical studies, and you'll see them where, there is documented results. It's not something that somebody made up. And then we do emotional stuff. We do anxiety, of course. We do resentment, anger, sarcasm. We do public speaking. We do just about anything that helps you feel more comfortable being you. Reiki won't change you. You're the same person you were, but you're the same person without the layer of other things on top of you.
Yeah, without the limitations, right?
Right. So you're a clearer version of you. So as you release the blocks and the things that you're holding on to, you get clear on what you want to be, who you want to be, what you want to pursue. Maybe things that, like taking a Reiki class, kind of seem too much out there, too woo-woo. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I'm going to do this. And then you go ahead and do it. And then it opens other doors for you.
Yeah. And I could be a testament to this. I haven't worked with Sarah, but, I'm certainly more intrigued to and feeling more excited to. And, for those of you watching it, if this is resonating with you, like, all of this work, like she said, can be done virtually. Like, you don't have to sit home and wait for the pandemic to be over, right? You can start. Hypnosis can also be done virtually. A lot of this work can be done virtually, and it's such rapid change work. That's the only way I can think to describe this. And I know, Sarah, like you pointed out, like, this is great for physical pain. And, I send out a lot of my clients who are struggling with physical pain. I send them right to Reiki practitioners because of that. Often, if we're stiff and rigid, it's because, like, the way we're operating, right, is stiff and rigid. And maybe there's that fear there to loosen up or to be more yourself or to relax. And I've actually had people cry just relaxing them with
Sure. When we're not used to being in that relaxed state or that peaceful, calm state, it's a huge shift, and it changes everything.
Yeah. And I know, Sarah, for this group, you have a free gift, and it's a guided meditation for anxiety. Can you tell us more about that?
It's under 10 minutes. It's 9 minutes long. It's an MP3, so you can download it, listen to it, keep it on your computer, keep it on your phone. It uses long distance Reiki. Yeah. And click the link below and you can go get it. It is simple, easy. I would suggest you do it at home, not driving, of course, because any kind of meditation, we don't want to be operating heavy machinery. As cliche as that sounds, that's the truth. And you can listen to it over and over. It's meant to help you find that calm center in an easy way. And for people that aren't used to meditation, it is a guided meditation. So it's really quick and it's really easy. You don't have to be a yogi. You don't have to like turn off your mind or anything like that, but it will help you reach a state of calmness and to help calm the mind too.
Wow. Like, go click the link below, guys. Go get this free gift. Like, I can tell you, I have done Reiki before, and I can't even put into words. Like Sarah said, it's hard to even put into words just what you experience going through it, what you're going to experience after it. And it's just truly, it's such mind blowing work. And like she said, you know, this can be done virtually. Go book a session. I think it's sarahparkerthomas.com. Is that
it is? You can find me there, and you can also find me at serenityreikiclinic.com. And I'm on YouTube, both channels. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm everywhere but TikTok.
Same here. Yep.
I have to draw the line somewhere.
Too many social networking channels.
Too much. Yes.
So everybody, click the link below. Go get her free gift. It's guided meditation. You cannot screw this up as long as you're following instructions, paying attention. Then, you know, I'm excited to hear about your results. Tell your results to Sarah. Like, get in touch with Sarah. Let her know what you experience. And I'm so excited for this audience to be able to explore more about Reiki and more of you, Sarah. And I am so thankful and blessed to have you here today and to share all of your wisdom and your knowledge with us. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This has been a lot of fun, and I could talk about Reiki for days. So yeah, if you guys just want to talk about Reiki, if you have questions, contact me. And like I say, we'll discuss it. We'll talk about Reiki, and we'll talk about how it affects certain conditions, or if there is something specific that you want to know, definitely just get in contact with me.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah, so much for joining us.
Sure. Thanks.